What's up, everybody? It is Ted here with Bodies and Wicks, and I've been talking about crypto a lot and all that good stuff, and it's always good to talk about crypto, especially when you never know what's gonna happen, like right now, or like ever, or I think that's why we talk about it, because we don't know what's gonna talk about it, but I think that's why we try to guess. We try to guess really hard. But today, you know what? One thing I haven't done in a very, very long time would be to cover the indices. I don't know if you like me. I remember whenever I was very beginning, starting to trade, I would trade the indices not indices. I would trade the SPX, I should say, mainly because of the one that didn't. Was light on my budget. It didn't give me nearly as much of a heart attack, and it was fun. You can make a few bucks, or really quickly, and then go on about your day. Well, as long as you did it right, anyway. But NASDAQ always scared me, even though it can make you money pretty quick. And then the US30 or the Wall Street, or it's already Wall. Dow Jones would definitely scare the heck out of me. Even though I did a couple ones that I did pretty good on, most of the time I would try to set my stop loss a little bit too tight, try to see if I could get away with it, and I would just get knocked out anyway. Anyways, those are the kinds of lessons that you learn while you do these things, so why not? I'm here to talk about smart money anyway. Smart money being the fact that there are big guys in the room, such as institutions who want to try to push the market in whichever direction they can, and it is more prevalent in the indices and stock market more than it is in the crypto market, even though it's becoming definitely a lot more prevalent in the crypto market for sure. But it all begins with a currency, though. It all begins with currencies that we trade, and U.S. currency has been being manipulated like no other. I want to see, actually, before we start this show, if I can find the Federal Reserve of St. Louis. What's it called? M stock money supply. Image. It is pretty redonkulous, to say the least. It's M1 money supply, that's what it's called. Not finding the right image here for some. March, January 2015. I want to see cards through now. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I know I'm probably taking up your precious time. Supply. Yeah, one money. There we go. Let me see. Can get that one pulled up here. Maybe this is the one here. I don't think this is it. Making stuff out now. I'll see if I can find it from the St. Louis Federal Reserve website. Nothing is coming up. Thought it would, like it usually does. Well, I guess it's the closest one I guess I can find, but here, let me show you this anyway. It is well, this is the Fred money stock. This is going back to 2011 of all the dollars that have been printed in the United States, basically. Now, before 2011, it actually is in pretty small decline. Let me see if I can't find something a little bit more comparable to it. That I've seen this chart before. It looks like maybe this is the one I was looking for. So here we go. We go back all the way back to 1960, right? And it's almost like nothing. I mean, you can't really see because it's behind my head. There we go. It's almost like nothing back to 19, right? It keeps going and going. And after about 82 or so, it kind of bumps up a little bit, and then, you know, toward the mid-90s, it kind of jogs down a little bit, and then 2000, it kind of gives a little bit of a jog, and then 2000, and right around here, financial crisis, 2007, 2008. You can see it have a little bit more of a jump, and then we go full steam ahead up until 2020, and it's just skyrocketing. So my understanding, I believe I have heard that it is 22% of all dollars have been printed. In 2020, if I am not mistaken, that is the number. Billion, 22% of circulation in USD printed. Yep, that is correct. 9 trillion, 32% of the circulation USD printed in 2020. So, if that doesn't spell inflation, I don't know what does. So, well, we will just keep it at that. Yeah, so what are they doing with this money? Well, supposedly they're buying up bonds, right? And because the Fed, they can't really print money, right? They can only issue government bonds, right? They can only issue IOU, basically. And so what these IOUs are, the government says, or, you know, we're going to owe you, the government, the Federal Reserve, who doesn't even print money, this money back. You know, you print us an IOU, we're going to give it back to you, and it's just like a big Ponzi scheme, to be honest. So that's pretty much all the Federal Reserve is. I don't know if you know anything much about the Federal Reserve, but if you look up fractional reserve banking, I'm pretty sure you will become a changed person, because fractional reserve banking is pretty much the most evil thing of all time. But anyways, besides all of that, that made me nervous. I had to smoke. So, what is the first thing on my mind? Well, of course, why wouldn't it be the NASDAQ, right? Of course it would be the NASDAQ. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, the NASDAQ is just, you know, it's the NASDAQ, right? Nothing can be worse than the NASDAQ, right? So just go ahead and head on over to the NASDAQ. How about that? All right, so this is an old. I have not done indices in quite some time, so I might be a little bit rusty on this one, so bear with me here. Now, as you can see, I know before the year was ending, or at least maybe not before the year was ending. When was it when we hit 10,000? It was. I know we were having some troubles getting above 10,000 for quite some time. I feel like. Or maybe it wasn't. Where is... Wait, why are the numbers not over here? What is going on? Anybody else notice this too? Why the numbers aren't over here? That is not normal. I do something weird. Let me see if it's doing this to any other ones. Okay, SPX isn't doing it. Neither is this one. How about I just this one and we'll go back to the NAS. How about let's try this one more time. All right, there we go. So now they're back. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Like it's inverted or something. What's going on here? Okay, so here's the 10,000 mark here. How about that? How that we know where the 10,000 mark is, we can do a little scoop doodle my diagram here, and let's see when it was that the NASDAQ actually hit 10,000. It was June. It was actually in June of last year. I thought it was took a lot longer than that. This goes to show you how much I really don't pay attention to these things. Even though I probably should, maybe I shouldn't. But let's do a quick analysis here, really quick, and let's see what can happen at least in this next week. All right, how about that? So, if we are looking at what happened, or at least what's happening right now, right? And what I want to do is I want to clear all of this, right? All this off. Now, what has happened to the NASDAQ is it looks like it has taken, well, since the high of almost 14,000, looks like around 13,900 something, maybe 1308 something. Well, that wasn't supposed to do that. It was actually supposed to be a horizontal line, horizontal ray, I mean, and there we go. And looks like that should probably be about the high, 13,908. This is according to currency.com. All right, now what happened to it just probably this past week? Looks like, or at least on Thursday. Looks like it hit a pretty good low point, which is interesting because that's when the dollar actually hit a fairly high point. I wouldn't say a high point, but it spiked up to a high at around 12,650. So yeah, what did it hit? Did it hit anything interesting? And it did. I always like to look left to the charts because the left of the charts will give you some good, interesting tidbits, right? So, had that guy right there, right? It looks like it was to me. Didn't exactly hit it, but it was up and down, and because this one, well, I would say big tall one, the last red candle, right? Anybody else's channel, I've always seen last red, the last one down, comes back up, the red candle goes back down inside of it, comes back up, goes sideways, touches that same line. I want to see what that low is. That low is 126,726. What is this high? High is 126,751. 0.6. goes a little bit lower. It dips into it just a tidbit and then takes off. And then hasn't returned to that point since up until Friday. So which tells me there could be a potential for a reversal. Which is what I am seeing here. And maybe not a full-on reversal, and maybe it looks like right now, like I always say in my other videos, it looks like it dropped really hard, created kind of almost like a gap, because whenever price drops like this and it drops dramatically, sometimes it skips numbers, right? And if it skips numbers, there becomes gaps. But I'm also in the 4 hours, so let's take a look at the 1 hour and see what actually happened in that 4 hour period. Even though it did, looks like it was a good 3 good hours, it dropped dramatically. Within those 3, some of it was coming up, some of it was backtracking. There was still a little bit of a gap that it has enclosed. So, even though that little bit of a gap has enclosed, what would we expect to see? It looked like it gapped up, right? And generally, whenever things gap up, they usually try to close that gap, right? And then after that, we should see it take off. So I'm gonna say tomorrow is gonna be, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a good day for the US tech, NASDAQ. One other reason mainly also being because I see 2 equal highs here, all right? These 2 equal highs being here and here. Okay, so engineering liquidity, right? People get close to this, they think it's going to sell off, especially since it's been on a downward trend, right? A downward trend, pulls up, gets rejected right here by something, right? It's always something in the chart that will reject it, and it looks like it could have been this little evil green line here. So I want to do something here really quick, try and experiment, see if this green line had anything to do with it, or could have possibly had anything to do with it. Like it may have. Right, let me see what, let me see first, let me see what those numbers were. Oh, they're exact same. Okay, I did it perfectly. This is the high here. High 3733. These numbers are 328. It is literally 2 pips away, or 0.2 pips away. Because with the Dow, it's a little bit different. It's not exactly how you would think it would be as far as pips are concerned. It's more or less like, well, with every dollar you make a dollar in the Dow, especially when it comes to a 0.01 pip, or not a 0.01 pip, 0.01 lot, I should say. But with it coming that close, just barely 0.2 above it, that's crazy. That's extremely close. Tells me, because you can see it hits this low, and then kind of see these guys hover above it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden price just boom goes down. I mean, doesn't hesitate, it just drops like a bat out of hell, comes back up, looks like it gets blocked by another one of these, right? Wouldn't you think so? Almost like another one of these. You can see the order flow is definitely a negative order flow. Comes back up. Looks like it gets blocked by another one of these. Maybe not the body, but at least tail of it. These up close candles are not Nasdaq's friend, to say the least. Almost every time you get like an up close candle, it just shoots down until it finally surpasses it, of course. But even then, it still looks like it struggled. Gets past it, but then it tries to get below it again. This time it stays on top. Comes down. Looks like it hits the top of it. And I'm so fascinated by price sometimes, about what it does and what it can do. You know, it's definitely not like a supply and demand thing. It's just like an algorithmic thing. Where's that low here? That low is 75.6, 75.7. So yeah, it goes lower into it. And then that's what shoots up. Again, rejected by this block, and then it pushes even further down. And now, again, the question is, what stops it? And again, said, looks like it was one of these last down candles. Or going back up, boom, goes sideways a little bit, shoots up, but still this last down candle. You can see you can see two green candles, of course, going up, and boom, down. You could probably measure it from that too, but as it comes back down into it, I'm gonna go with that one. Just because, I mean, it is convenient to say, but then again, it hasn't gone down into this area yet, and even then, this area is moving up. Tries to move back below it, but then, yeah, so this one's just kind of stuck in the middle there. This one definitely is a move up and then push down point. This is not really like a move up, push down point. This is just kind of sideways, trying to find its way through. So, that being said, look at currently what's happening. Again, we have some equal highs, right? Let's see if any of these could give us some trouble. So we could check back tomorrow, right? Let's see. Because it looks like all three of these could just be one large candle just building up momentum, right? Building up momentum, building up momentum, building up momentum, and before it finally shoots up and drops again. Like a roller coaster almost, you know? So, because of that, could institutions, people that have the money, could be protecting those positions. Meaning when it gets up to that area again, trying to block its existence. Or maybe that they knew that it was going to get to the point of where it was, right? Was that area right there. Reach down for it, they let go of their positions, and now that's why it's up, and they're making money on them. So, since it has hit that position, I don't think I'm going to be too worried about this position to be. I will make it a different color. And let's see here. What else do we got going on in here? See that drop in there from that little bit of a gap reaching up into. Had the gap reached up into it, dropped. When gap filled, dropped. And huge gap. Took some time to fill that gap. And again, got up to here. Now, question is, once it got up to here, what made it drop from this point? Why did it not keep going up? See, these are the kind of questions I ask myself. Because it could have just easily kept going up and up and up. What time of the day was that? 6 in the morning? That's why. No, this is London kill zone. London was not about to let that happen. So something happened with currency at that time, probably. Probably the dollar took off. Actually, let's do something. Let's do a comparison. Why it changes colors and why it does that. There we go. I could have swore every time I do this, I change these and it never stays. So whatever, it is what it is. It's doing it now. Right. So this one's on the 2 hour for some reason. Let's take this one to the hour. And what date was this? Right around here. Oh yeah, look at that. Currency droppage from US dollar before it turns around and makes a run up. As it's making a run up though, decides to run sideways before it also runs up. But here at this high point is when the currency is starting to turn around. Now it did make it above this high, right? Probably triggering some kind of, I don't know, maybe some buy stops. Well, here, look, you have, before this line that I drew, do have, right, you have these two right here that are almost, or what is this high? What is this high? 3339. Okay, 3323. Okay, so this one's a little bit higher, not much higher. But still, you can tell that they're almost identical in height. So it almost looks like as this went to here and said, okay, we're at the same height, I'm gonna drop, and then fake out higher, take out. So people were selling here, right? Selling here, and then so it drops as if it was a fake sell. Boom, they probably lowered their stop losses in anticipation of it going lower, not to be knocked out of that position, and then turned around, boom, came back up, knocked him out of the position, and probably didn't make a dime off of that unless they did take something off of that. People that are usually playing the Dow don't take money off after that short of a drop though, especially if you're probably getting in right around here. Your drop is only to here. 45 points, yeah, not usually people take a whole lot of profit after about 45 points on the Dow, so they probably didn't make much at all. Turns around, they thought that was a safe spot, probably put that stop loss there. Turns around, takes them out. Big money takes the money, drops it again. So that being said, what are the institutions going to do now? What are the institutions going to do now, right? So, like, we have almost a 3-hour drop here where you get a pin bar, right? And the pin bar usually what most people would say would signify a turnaround. Not always the case. In this case, it does. Now, I want to see what kind of effect that has on this in the future. I have a feeling this is going to be riding into tomorrow. Because again, like I said, I think we could see it come up, hit this, possibly come back down, hit this, and then make the run for it. That's what I personally think is going to happen. Personally, that's just me personally. Because again, this to me is one big group of an order block, or what some would call an order block. Make sure all my bases covered here by getting that red block in there. Also getting top of this. There we go. Okay. But also get that in there as well. Okay. I have a feeling it might run up into this. Then you would have the exact opposite on this side. Across here, this would be positive block. I don't know why I didn't just stay there, because I was there. Let's see if that's what happened. Oh. I personally was to put money on this, and I might just a little bit. See what I'm gonna do. As I can see it come up, bumping this, I come back down, probably jumping up a little bit higher into it, or slowly falling, right? Unless, well, actually, what I see happening is probably. Oh no! If this happens right around if this happens around the London kill zone time, right? If this happens between, you know, midnight, and we draw another box here. Time is, oh, that, oh, shit, that's tomorrow. I forget we're in hours. There we go. So what happens between this time and midnight, 3, 4 in the morning, something like that. But instead, I think it's gonna run through that. So instead, and again, we did leave a gap open up here. So what I would think what would happen is that we would probably get some slow moving motion all the way down, covering up this gap, maybe moving up a little after covering up the gap, and then moving down until we hit this guy, right? Maybe not even that at that guy, but then at this time taking off up into this guy. But since it's London Open, you see it boom, bounce off of it, and then take off after that. But even then, again, you have these 3 down candles again. Red candle bouncing off of that. Again, this candle reaching down in there, pushing back out. This green candle goes lower than this red candle, but still going into this block. So I have a feeling that, well, this order block has already been hit by this block. I feel like this block has been the one to watch. Think it'll be this line that does it. I think it'll reach into it. I think it'll play games for a little bit, just because, you know, overnight right now, Asian time, not much going on in the Asian session. You just be slowly drifting, and then all of a sudden spike down, boom up. Of course, hit the bear shorter block, could fall back a little bit until it hits something like this, you know. 3 green candles up. Well, that would push it down. I don't know, but this is what it's looking like to me. And then it would definitely get above these highs here. It needs to get above these highs here. I think this order block may be a psych out for people trying to think that it would push it down because of these 3 candles. They're not strong or too wicky. They are way too wicky. It's not like an open close candle from top to bottom, like one of these guys right here, or this guy right here. This guy, boom, look at that, just full candle straight down. That is what you would look for. I'm not getting that. Instead, you would probably get that from the other side, coming down, hitting that, and then coming back up. So that's what I would think what would happen. It coming back up, and then probably coming back down, and then taking off even more. So I think NASDAQ probably gonna take off tomorrow. Just my own personal humble opinion. I don't know what this is doing here. I need to get out of my way. But as compared to the dollar, and then eventually this would be what you would aim for right here, right? This would be your ultimate goal, but to reach the higher high, right? That's what you would be watching. Where's that I symbol? Give me an I symbol. I know I've seen it somewhere before. Looks like the Eye of Ra or something. You know what I'm saying? Why am I not finding it? I wish there were just something that point out to me and be like, here is the Eye of Ra. Choose it right now. There's just an eyeball or something. Isn't like an eyeball, like an irritation eyeball or something like that? I don't. Magic potion. How about that? We'll just go with magic potion. Magic potion right here. Magic potion, this is where you need to go, right? Get above this magic potion. That's where I'm feeling that. And the thing is especially in terms of Dow Jones, 800 points is, I mean, it's a lot, but not a whole lot. I mean, what is a daily range for NASDAQ? What is NASDAQ's daily range? Here, let me Google this. What is NASDAQ? Average. Range. NASDAQ's ADR. Historical data. You know, a lot of crap, but can I download this as CVS and just average it out? What's going on here? Frequency, daily historical prices. Oh, I can download it. Perfect. As a CSV. Hello. Thank you very much. High and low. Perfect. Right. Wish I could show you guys what I'm doing right now. I guess I could add it on, but let me just insert. Column like I usually am. About right here. There's like add column. Dude, where's undo? close that. Come on now. Sorry for y'all keeping you in suspense, but I am going to figure this out really. Now that I figured out how to add a column. Maybe I thought I figured out how to add a column. Okay, I did. So, this is track low. Yes, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. Let's see, get right, and then we're gonna go equals average. Oh, stop it. Average. Okay. But 1 second. Sorry guys. Sorry guys. Daily. Range. Go. Still can't give me the average of daily. What kind of function are you? It'll work. Go a long way around. Alright, average daily range is actually only 203. That is surprising. I did not expect the average daily range for the Dow to be only 203 points. That's fairly low. Don't you think? I feel like it's fairly low. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'm looking at 2021. I'm looking at everything up until I'm looking at 226. How is that even possible? But yeah, 2026 Friday. For some reason I was thinking it was the future. I was like, wait, 2026 hasn't happened yet. It's not possible. But it did. It did happen. So I feel like I'm looking at the average daily range of this year already. Oh no, it's actually for a year. It's for a full year. It's from 32. 02. I did not know I could do that. All right. Anyways, 1 second. Here we go. This is what I was looking at. I can't, well, maybe transition back actually and move this around a little bit, but you can see what I was looking at. And there we go. Okay, so that's what I was looking at here. For some reason that is not showing up like I wanted it to, so you know what, I'm going to abort mission of what I was looking at, and we will get back to the normal stuff. How about that? I'm just done. I thought I would do a quick math problem, and it didn't end up being a quick math problem. It ended up being just a load of crap. But anyways, the average daily range for the Dow, in case you didn't know, not the Dow, sorry, the NASDAQ, is about 203 points. So just so you know, for future reference, 203 points is about what you're going to get on average. So from 1367 to 1398 is more than likely not going to be possible, but I do feel like that could be a weekly goal. So now that the Dow has entered here, let's get rid of the dollar here. Let's get down to brass tacks, and I think now that the Dow has went sideways for quite some time, this is what I would like to see happen, because my stocks, the ones that I own, are in the Dow, and I have seen it kind of do this for the past week. You know, it's kind of flip-flop back and forth, so I want it to do this. This is what I want it to do. Granted, is that what it's going to do? I really don't know, but this is what I want it to do. But as far as my intuition goes, we did have two equal lows. It did bust through both of those equal lows back on the 25th, and it has retraced upwards. Do have a bearish order block ahead. It could pull back, and then depending on what time it is, it's mainly gonna depend on what time it is, where the price is at around 1 or 2 in the morning, to see what is actually going to happen. And the same with the dollar. It's going to depend on where the dollar is about that time as well. So those are going to be two main factors, I think. There are equal highs here. There's equal highs here, and I think we could see, hopefully, even though the tech stocks have been slightly declining, I think the tech stocks could ultimately do a little bit better, especially now that Miss Janet Yellen is afraid of Bitcoin. I think people are going to be holding on to tech stocks more than ever. Or at least they're probably become more scarce, if not more scarce than more valued, I guess you could say is the word. We'll see. We will definitely see. All right, on from the US Tech 100. Let's get to the big one, the Dow. All right, we're looking at a daily chart of the Dow Jones, dating all the way back to 2017. Of course, you can see the big COVID drop here, and then surprisingly, the Dow has gotten above 30,000. Now that I'm using it, now I'm looking at the daily. I don't. Of course, it's been the highest it's ever been, so there's not really any daily as resistance above the Dow, right? But we got to look for below, and it did have a good period from November up until about the beginning of February, to where it dropped, went back up, and then it finally hit a new high again. When was that high? This past week on the 24th. That was what, Wednesday? Now we're gonna see what it could possibly do. Let me look at some other candles to see if there's anything disturbing noticing about any of these. Looks like it could drop just a little to about 30,000, 30,400, 30,500, somewhere in between there, before it decides to pick back up again. Let me get rid of this really quick. See if these are kind of equal lows, but not so much. But it could serve as a purpose. It could serve as a safe. This kind of whole area is safe for safe to put your stop loss, I guess you could say. You know, if you wanted to go from here all over to here, something like that, that could be an area to where people could say, hey, this is a good area for your stop loss. Maybe even a little bit lower, especially since it jumped up. You would say, hey, it looks like you know, stop loss safe, stop loss safe. You know, this could be your stop loss, probably, you know, probably below, probably actually right where this red line is. I don't even know where this red line came from, but looks like right where this red line is would be an area where people would think this would be a safe area to put their stop loss, which means it would probably get below that, unfortunately. So looks like, I can't tell if this can, oh, does this candle get lower than the open? Low 2737.4, 427. Nope, this one gets lower, just a little bit lower, so we're safe in that regards. I was thinking maybe if this one got lower, this one could act as a gap, but it's not going to. Almost, this looks like one big long candle. Pulls down, pulls back up. And I'm looking at these reds pushing down, right? I'm looking at them as an order block. Looks like this guy used it as an order block, so I would look at this right here as an order block. So I think it could trade through. Now the question is, I wonder if the same thing for Dow Jones.